hand tools are used on all scales of farms, but can be the primary tools used on smaller scale operations. Some of the scales in which hand tools are primarily used is the home garden, from a few raised beds to 1,000 square feet, from a large home garden from 1,000 square feet up to a half acre, right up to the market garden size of a half acre up to 2 or 3 acres. So hand tools can be used for a bunch of different tasks. One of the primary is for preparation of the soil. Most farms and small gardens will have maybe a neighbor come in and use their tractor to prepare the soil. So if you have a field, they'll hire in a tractor to turn in the sod, break everything up, get it ready for you to initially use. After that point, you might use a tool like a broadfork to prepare the soil and to make your beds. In addition to being able to go down deep into the soil and loosen up the soil deep down, broadforks can also be used for harvesting, deep-rooted crops like carrots and parsnips, and also just for not necessarily turning the soil over, but for loosening the soil up and leaving it in place. So many no-till operations will use a broadfork just to loosen up the soil. So after you've prepared your bed with your broadfork, the next step is to seed. So there are different tools like this, a direct seeder, and these are great because they are much more efficient than making a furrow with another tool or with your hand and then putting seed in by hand and having to go back and close in over them. These tools have different wheels and plates to put different size seed at different spacings. They plant the seed at exactly the right spacing for the recommended for the type of vegetable that or crop that you're trying to plant. They also have these opener discs, so it makes a little furrow, and a compression wheel behind there to close the soil back up over the seed after you're done. So this is a really efficient way to make, one push down the row, put the seed where you need it, and get that seed in exactly where you want it to be. In addition to single row seeders, you can get 5 and 6 row seeders that are still all hand powered and can really increase your efficiency and really save on your back for having to bend over to put all of those seeds in individually. So after you've planted your crop, whether by seed or by transplant, the next step is management and making sure that the weeds don't overtake that crop. And there are some great hand tools for that. You may find some cheap hoes at the box store, and while they do work for the job, you're going to work a lot harder to get those weeds out, and you're going to have a lot more negative impacts on the soil with compaction and mashing of that soil. So there's some more nuanced, more specific tools like this stirrup hoe, and this is great because it can pull weeds out with a backwards motion and with a forward motion, and it really just undercuts the weed and leaves the soil right in place. So it really doesn't have a negative compacting component to the weed management using a stirrup hoe. We also have these collinear hoes. Again, with this diamond pattern, you can get both backwards and forward control of the weeds where there's an edge on both sides. You can also turn this sideways and get in between really tightly planted crops. And you get the benefit of being able to use the edge or the flat edge with this version of the collinear hoe as well. So those are great for in the bed. So on the bed top you may have several rows of crops, and these smaller hand hoes can get in between those tighter areas. But you have that wider area that's going to be more compacted in your between row zone or in your walkway. So for an area like that, it can be a lot more effort to have to swing the hoe and get through that compacted soil. So these wheel hoes really save a lot of effort because you never have to lift the hoe up, and you have much less of a swinging kind of impactful kind of vibration causing force. With a wheel hoe, you can just push this forward, scrape through the soil. You can again move forward and backwards where it has the stirrup hoe on it, but this is going to be much more efficient, much more easier on your body, and just do a better job to clean up those in-row weeds. Now that you've done the majority of the work with your stand-up hand tools with the long handle or with your wheel hoe, now you can get to the true hand tools to get the more, finer weeds that are really tight up against your crop. So we have several different versions. Again, we can use the narrow edge for getting down in between crops like tight planted carrots. We can use the wider edge for getting between wider spaces. And there are just several different options, and they all have different advantages and benefits, different levels of kind of ergonomics. So this one has more of a curved edge to it. So this could actually be used for moving soil and hilling it onto your crop. And again, we have a much narrower option here where this can get in between those tight planted crops again. So we just talked about a few of the many options that are available for weed management. One other more nuanced tool is the flame weeder. So with safety in mind, this tool can be very effective. Usually the most effective use of this is to prepare your beds, wait about 2 weeks until planting your crop, and hopefully get a rain or irrigate. When the weeds start to germinate, come through and ignite the propane torch, and you can really effectively kill all of those weeds with that flame. Again, safety is very important. This is an open flame in a propane tank, but if it's used effectively, it can be a very satisfying tool to use. Another use for this is that you can run through like a potato crop if you have a problem with Colorado potato beetle. So you can knock them off and then go through with your propane burner and toast those beetles. Again, this is a tool that requires a lot of safety precautions, but it can be a very effective tool. Another important tool for pest management is the backpack sprayer. So whether you're planning to control pests with organic control measures, conventional, or if you're planning to apply certain types of foliar nutrients and fertilizers, you'll need some sort of a spray applicator. There are many different versions of the backpack sprayer or the handheld sprayer. And again, with ergonomics in mind, kind of the top of the line in that realm is the battery-powered sprayer. So this prevents you from having to pump, which is how other backpack sprayers operate. And that can really wear down on your shoulder and tire you out a lot faster. So the battery powered maintains a consistent pressure throughout the use of the sprayer. Another nice part of the backpack sprayer is that it has these nice shoulder straps on it, which are really important to have nice supportive straps. Where this is a 4-gallon sprayer, so when full you'll have 32 pounds of material on your back, so you'll want to make sure that you're comfortable in making that spray application. So the last human-powered tool that we'll talk about in this video is the broadcast spreader. So this tool is designed to sit on your chest. It has a solid plastic tub on it, which is nice. Some of them just have kind of canvas bags to hold the material that you're looking to have spread across your field or your garden. These are very nice when applying fertilizer or cover crop seed because it can broadcast across a wide area in one pass, and it also does so in a fairly uniform manner. The alternative is to go out with a bag and spread things by hand, but again, that can be very kind of streaky and not have the uniform pattern. The straps go over your shoulder, and then this lever gets spun, and you get a lot of torque and torsion where the seed or the fertilizer falls down through, hits this plate, and gets distributed across the field uniformly. So hand tools are a cost-effective way to get jobs done in an efficient manner on your farm. So there's a lot of options out there. So definitely look around, see what fits your system and your needs the best. In the next video, we're going to talk about walk-behind tractors and implements for going to the next scale up as far as cost, but also efficiency for getting the job done on your farm.